Hola everybody, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well. Joy cometh in the morning. Through it all, doesn't matter what you're going through, whether you had a good day today or you had a bad day, just remember that joy comes in the morning. Okay, so it's poetry session again. My husband wrote something and then I love sharing it on this platform. So, I love, when people write, I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating because obviously I'm so intrigued by the human mind and the gift that he has. I rave about it because I think it's a special one because my husband doesn't really speak much. So I think this is also, for me, it works for me because when we share this in this space, it just reminds me of why I loved him on the first place, because of his mindset. So, hello, my love. How are you?
Fine, you?
Good. Okay, so you want to read it quickly?
Yeah. I just want to say thanks, my love, for listening to my stuff. I appreciate it.
You're
welcome. It does
welcome.
mean a lot to me. Anyway, this one is called Astray. And again, thank you, baby. I'm quite new to this writing stuff, and when these things come, they come, and I can only share it with a few people, and obviously you're one of the main people I share it with, and your appreciation of it means a lot to me.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. It does so much for me, and I hope for you guys as well. And he's going to read it. Try and take it in.
Okay, this one is called Astray. Social disorder. I'm just a mere mortal, trying to navigate through all this and levitate above all what's in God's name. Exercise self-restraint, not fall in with the devil to the deepest, darkest level. Nothing is sentimental. God, please take this vessel, fill me with your grace. Don't want to be part of this game. Need your name to take away this pain. Transcend, float away to your paradise. Trying to reach the sky in the grasp of my eye, but not yet. I'm still ready to roll the dice. My time is not done with my bride, my angels, my saviors, my life. Got to stay clean. Proverbs 27:19. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Gotta do my part. Step in harm's way to protect my domain. God made me this way. I'm not turning away. Fight until you drag me away. I cannot betray, or will end up astray.
Do you want to pass me the laptop? So what I do, obviously I did it in the last one. We go word for word, or line by line, or whatever I find in there that I could that intrigues me. I'll then ask him, what does it mean to him? And whenever he answers back and tells me his thought process and his mindset when he wrote this, it purifies me. It helps me. It's almost like it's good for my psychology. It's good for my mindset. It cleanses me. And that's why I thought, if I can hear light, I would want to share this light, So, okay, so just the name on its own, Astray. Why did you give it that name?
I don't know. The names normally I like, they come when I'm done with the rhyme, and when I'm done in the end, it just, because when these things come, they normally start like, I don't plan to write them. If I wanted to sit down and write something now, I wouldn't be able to. It's in the moment. Like, I'll start with, like, a phrase will come to my mind, And then that first one came to me, the social disorder, because I felt like there was just disorder in my life and around me. And once that goes, the first line goes down, the rest just flows. And when the rhyme is done, I look at it and then I see direction it took me, and then I just try and give it a name. And in this instance, you know, astray is just meaning like, obviously, like the poem's theme is around just being able to appreciate what you have, and to fight for what you have, and stuff, and without what I have right now, I feel astray. It's like that cat we picked up in the woods. That cat had nowhere to go. It was just astray. It was like lost. You know, like you just have no purpose, and that's what it basically is.
Okay. So, okay, social disorder. That's your first line. Social disorder. I'm just a mere mortal trying to navigate through all of this and levitate above all.
Yeah, so social disorder to me more like a lot to do with social media and a lot to do with what's going on, and just like how there isn't anything pure, you know, everything is just so quick and so like meaningless, and just looking for reactions and stuff like that, and that's what I feel like, you know, it's just too much for me, you know, and like I'm just a mere mortal, like meaning like that's all that like it's so fragile, the whole existence, you know, it's just so fragile, it's so quickly just to everything to, you know, to disappear, and trying to levitate about all which is not in God's name, trying to avoid things which are pulling you to the dark side, just trying to be away and to levitate, to float from it. And the only way you can float is by receiving God's grace, and that's how you're able to levitate above it, because that's levitation is obviously unreal. You cannot levitate in real life, but in spirituality you levitate above, like as you just picture the darkness below you as God holds you up and just keeps you away from all of it.
So because we're in this generation, do you think that social disorder, because your first line was social disorder, so I mean back in the day, I mean, I don't know what would trigger the mind to go into that darkness state.
No, fair enough. You know, each generation has its own, you know, endeavors or whatever, you know, because I'm sure when we were growing up, when we were young, then all the generation was looking at us and saying, oh, look at these lost souls, you know, and like we're looking down now on the new generation. But I do think that things are so fast, and there's this one mix in our life right now which is called social media and internet, which is completely unpredictable, and it's like such a variant which at this point I think nobody really knows the full effect of it on society and on humans as such. And I think that has a lot to do with the way people are behaving and the way that they are sort of carrying themselves, you know, and everything is just for that popularity, for those likes, for, you know, you'll do anything just to get that whatever TikTok videos and all that nonsense that's out there, and it's like we're losing it, you know, it's just
losing it.
Yeah, it's just like we're losing the human element of things. You know, it's funny. You think about it, like social media and internet and all of this was meant to connect people together, but all it's done is actually put us apart. It's like a crazy realization I had the other day, how social media was meant to just bring us closer or whatever, like we have quicker way to communicate, but in fact it just like actually pulled us more apart. And if you once you realize that, then I think that's where, like, for me, that's where one of the disorders is lying, is in that particular part. I always emphasize on that because for me, I feel like that's a big thing at the moment with us, social media. It's affecting the way our brain operates and the way people are reacting, and I just don't think it's positive.
Yeah, and I think also when people see us pinpointing social media, remember we said the disorder of it. So obviously there are high positives about it. I mean, we are on social media trying to be on this platform to bring light, you know, just to bring like that. That's what it is. It's really about scholar of life, learning from one another and bringing light, but it's in the space of social media. So, but on this heading, I mean, one could say, okay, but I mean, you come home, first thing, I mean, once we're done with the kids and whatever we had to do, everyone's in their laptop and you looking whatever you're looking at, I'm looking at whatever I'm looking at. So we also part of that disorder. You know?
100%. Everyone is a part of it, but I think you
There are
want
levels.
there are obviously depending on what each individual's outcome is, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so we
I
may
love that.
be, you know, whatever, if we're catching up on a few videos, but you're quite right that, you know, it's not quite a blanket statement that everyone is on it and it's just all bad, 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 bad. It's
And
not.
you're not quite right. You're very right.
That you know,
About
so
social disorder.
you know, but on the other hand, like I feel like, yeah, to me it just has more negatives than positives
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
I
That's
agree.
all I'm saying.
I
I feel
agree.
like if we're to level it now and like press a button and delete social media and all of it, I wouldn't even think twice. I think it would be good for society overall, you know. But that's just, yeah, one of those
That's
things.
just your thing.
Yeah, my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But that's basically what it's all about. The beginning is just about how everything is like just, it just feels like a disorder.
I love it, and I think people need to recognize like like, you know, like we said, there's the positive and there's the negative. You know, what are we doing for our souls? I mean, for our emotional space, you just have to open the laptop. And you take yourself there, like you said, it's up to you. You know, you can take yourself to a place on social media where it can be good for your energy levels, where it can be good for your mindset, or you know that negative voice can take you somewhere else where it can lead you to darkness, and only between you and yourself, you know the consequences of where you're taking yourself through the social disorder, you know. So it's really choice again, you know. Okay, I'm just a mere mortal trying to navigate through all this and levitate above all. What's not in God's name, exercise self-restraint. Break that down. I love that. What's not in God's name, exercise self-restraint, not fall in with the devil.
Yeah, I mean, that's for all of us.
Exercise self-restraint.
100%, because it's so easy to go. I mean, you know how easy it is to go to the dark side.
Yeah.
And it is much harder than to stay on the light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why we got to exercise self-restraint to not go there, not to go into the, you know, to do the things that we know that are not good. Because all around us, all day long, there's just temptations. There's doors and everything that is tempting us. And you've got to exercise self-restraint to just not, you know, go in those places, because it's just, yeah, it's so easy to dwell into that darkness. It's so easy to go there, which might seem fun in that moment, but long term it just breaks down your domain. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely right. And then you want to say, okay, why do I need to exercise what's that word, baby?
Self-restraint.
Self-restraint if the dark side is showing me nothing but beautiful things for my flesh. Like, why would I want to sacrifice that, right? That's where we find a lot of us. Why I mean, and I'll be just raw with it, why wouldn't I want to have a lot of affairs out there when it's like so nice for somebody to tell you all these beautiful things? Why do I want to be loyal with my husband? Or why do I want to try my best being a mother where I can just go out there and have a good time? And I think the darkness, the trick about the darkness, and how the enemy has planned this false you want to help me there, baby? This false thing that you do to your flesh that
Gratitude.
No, not gratitude. It's like when it
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction, when it enhances you. I think it's all got to do with being selfish, you know. So I think the enemy has, like, it's such an illusion that we don't go deeper to see, but what if our practice in trying to walk in righteousness? Because then the beauty of that, I think once you've overstepped, once you've climbed up that, okay, I'm going to try and be in this path of trying to live righteousness, even though I know that I'm missing out in the worldly fun. Once you've reached over that mountain and you get the truth about doing things God's way, you wouldn't want to trade it for anything. You'll only realize then that all of that was just lies, and it's nothing compared to trying to live in a righteous way. Right, my love?
Yeah.
Right? So on your side, I still want to talk about self-restraint because it's very difficult for a lot of people to do it. I have such a big relationship with God, and there's a lot of things that I had to stop doing, not because God says you shouldn't do it. No, it's because my love for God. But naturally you avoid going into that dark path. I have to train myself not to do it because I've always been on the dark side. You understand? For me, it's like a completely different type of living, where concept, for you, concept, it's something that I have to be training myself every day, but I'm struggling through it, but the outcome is beautiful.
But different people carry different strengths, because, for example, for me, it's not an option to enter that space because I don't know if I'll get out. You, on the other hand, you entered that space and you got out because you had the strength to do it. So there's like two different strengths.
Wow.
That
Did you just say you don't even attempt with it because you're not sure that you'll even get out?
I'm not sure I'll get out. That's why I'd rather not even enter that space. Don't open that door, because if I open that door, if I squeak in there, I'm just going to run in and I don't know if I'll come out. I don't trust myself enough.
So what gives you the strength not to even try opening that door? You've
my
always
children
been like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't know what it is. It's, I guess, the God that I don't know. Hey, it's the strength that I carry. I don't know, from my grandmother, I guess, or my upbringing, or naturally. Like I said, it's a number of things. There's three things that make us: genetics, DNA, obviously, then geography and spirituality, and somewhere between those three things, something aligned, and I got that ability to be able to do that, and I'm very grateful for it. But you see, sometimes you need to go into the dark in order to see the light for what it is, and some of us need to do that. And so sometimes when you dip into the dark, it's the only way you'll see the light fully. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have to explore the darkness. As crazy as it sounds, but if you never see the darkness, you may never understand the light. Like, those two work together, I know it's like a weird concept, but I think that also exists for some people, So in order for you to realize your full strength, you had to go to the deepest, darkest parts of your life, of yourself, and then you were able to understand and be who you're meant to be. You know what I mean? It's a funny journey we all carry.
There's also some people that just think the dark space is life. That's it. There's no light. It's interesting. Where you can, I've had people, like I've told you, like, compare, like, I cannot stand comparison. If Happy could get out of that, you can also do it. And like you said, strengths are not the same. Do you know there's like people that really don't see the bigger picture?
100%.
It's interesting. I still think you're a champion at this whole exercising self-restraint, because I've known you for such a long time, and you were around friends, and including myself, there was so much in that dark space that you just always knew how to remove yourself. I think you need to give yourself credit that it takes a lot of discipline.
Also God had a way of doing it for me. It's funny. He removed things out of my life that were negative. Like whenever I had friends that were close to me, and the moment they fell into some darkness, something would always happen. They would either move away, or somehow we would get separated, or like something would happen. So there was a way that I think I also feel like my angels protected me. My angels were always strong with me, always.
That is true. There was a time when we were a lot younger, and God knows like our bond, and it's definitely from God. But I was dabbling in things that I wasn't supposed to dabble in, and I was just It's either I was going to take him down with me when we were like just becoming young adults, just from our teenage life and stuff like that. And you know, when you don't think you'll ever like separate from one another, and he's right, like how his angels always looked after him, like how God always knew that, Happy, I love you very much, just like I love my son Alexander, but you won't be his downfall. You need to go fix yourself. And I was removed in his space. That's how much he is protected, you know. And then we were brought back into each other's space again once I had to go through the journey. It's very interesting. Like, God is, at the end of the day, it's all about God. Whether you see it or you don't, he's the beginner and he's the finisher. Okay, excellent. But I do applaud you for how you could have chosen the other way. You know what I'm saying? And I like how you acknowledge God in this, that he was actually the one that was sending his angels. Okay, what's not in the name of God? Exercise self-restraint, not fall in with the devil to the deepest, darkest level. Nothing is sentimental. God, please take this vessel. Fill me with your grace.
Yeah, it just goes back to the same thing where, you know, self-restraint. Because if you open that door, I'm just going to go to the deepest, darkest level. There's no that elevator, like I say, express elevator to hell going down. And once you're down there, it's very hard to get out again. And that's why I'm saying, like, just take my vessel, and fill me with your grace. You know, just that's the only way that you can not, or one of the ways that helps you not to fill yourself with things that are not of God, is to fill yourself only with things of God. And that's basically it. Fill yourself with grace.
You also say here, don't want to be part of this game, need your name to take away this pain. I love this part.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of this game. I need your name to take away this pain.
That's it. It's just the game of life, you know, the things that we do, the corrupt things that we do, that are so easy that you're just willing to do anything just for, you know, for a little bit of fame or a little bit of, you know, of life, and just surrounding yourself with bad people. That game that we play, you know, that game, and everyone's got their own game, you know, like they play hard games, you know, and I'm just saying, I don't want to be a part of it. I just don't want to be a part of it, you know, and it's like, it's so painful, you know, that like I need your name to take away the pain. I don't know how else to say it, you know. It's just
and what
like,
pain is this?
the pain you collect. The pain you collect along the gameplay, because you think you're just playing this game and you're winning, but you're not. There's a cost to it, and that cost is your pain, man. It's your like life, your being. You're just like being eaten away, you know, slowly falling apart, and that's basically that pain that, you know, you accumulate by just selling yourself, because at the end you feel alone. You're on your own, you know, and it's just like that place is dark and it's painful. You know?
Oh yeah.
We all know that place.
Oh no, and we know the games.
You know, those games is
Lots of games.
Yeah.
Everyone's in a game.
Everyone's playing a game. That's why I say everyone's game is different, but nevertheless they're playing that game. And like, I don't want to be part of that game, because from the outside it looks like, from the inside the game looks like it's fun, but when you look at it from the outside you'd be like, I don't want to be part of this. Please take me away from this, you know.
Yeah, it's beautiful, my love. I absolutely adore you. Okay. Transcend, float away to your paradise, trying to reach the sky in the grasp of my eye, but not yet. I'm still ready to roll the dice. My time is not done with my bride, my angels, my saviors, my life.
That's hectic, because that almost makes reference to, I mean, I know it's, you know, and everyone thinks about it, and we just deal with it in our own different way. You know, there's many times when your life is so overwhelming, you just want to close your eyes and disappear. You know, everyone has contemplated suicide on some kind of level, and I'm not talking about direct suicide. I'm just talking about like not giving up, exactly, giving up on your life and just not being able to handle what's in front of you. And it's such an easy way to check out. You just check out. You know, you check out and.
Not even necessarily through death.
Not through death.
You can even just check out.
You can check out on many ways. That you can just check out from your life, you know. But in this particular instance, I'm talking about, in some ways, just like checking out completely, going to paradise. You know, you can't be here anymore. Like you can't handle this battle anymore. It's so hectic. You know what I mean? Because like your throne is promised up there, and it's so much like. It just feels like an easy way out. You know, why must I battle here with all the things that you're dealing with, where you can just go out there somewhere, and when the paradise is waiting for you, your God has got your throne. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not ready to, as much as I'm reaching out for it, I want to get it, but I'm not ready yet. I'm ready to throw the dice. Meaning like, that's life. You know, it's just about your hand. You're throwing a hand, one day you win, one day you lose. And I'm still willing to throw the dice. I'm willing to take my chances. Because of my bride, you know, my angels, who are my life, and my saviors, meaning that they keep me alive. That's what keeps me going, you know, meaning my life is meaning them my life, and everything else around it, my family, everything that sort of surrounds me. I'm willing to still throw the dice for all of that. I'm not willing to give in yet, as much as it feels like an easy way out and all of it. But I'm not ready. I'm ready to fight.
I hear you.
You know?
What keeps you going?
Well, obviously, like my life. You know, my life is it's too beautiful, man. There's still a lot to live for. There's not, you know, it's hard and everything, and you know, there's a lot going on.
Like that.
But there's just like, yeah, no way. There's just a lot going on still.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Thank God you can say that your life is beautiful because of your angels, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because of God. You know, He's making it beautiful around you. So that's cool. That's very cool to know. Yeah. It's beautiful. Okay. Got to stay clean. Proverbs 27:19. I didn't even know that you knew this Bible verse. I need to read it because I don't know it. What made you pick this Bible verse?
Funny enough, it was just a random pick.
Really?
Yeah.
But is there a verse like this? Oh, awesome. Okay, we should read it. Proverbs 27 verse 19. Okay, got to stay clean. What do you mean, got to stay clean?
Just got to stay pure. You know, you got to stay clean. You can't allow like negative things into your life. Like I was picturing the other day, and I was talking about it, and I was just saying like your life or your soul, I see it as like a cup of water, you know, and then and life is just that continuous flow of water in it. And then like, you know, if you just throw like a teaspoon of dye into that water, it just becomes diluted and it stays like dirty now, murky. And now as the water flows in, it slowly clears up and all of that. And that's how I feel life is that clean glass of water, and everything that comes negative is like just that dye that's just falling in and making it murky. But because it's a continuous flow, it just clears it up again and you continue. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. You just got to stay that glass clean as possible without having to add any dirt into it, so that you stay pure and you know.
Sure. Yeah. We have to stay clean. We have to. I love how you stay clean. I'm not gonna lie, I admire it a lot, baby. I really admire it. But you know, I always did, you know?
Yeah, well, everyone fights a different battle, hey?
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying you're perfect, but wow, your discipline, it's just, I admire that. I really admire that, and I learned from you. Got to do. Remember, I was telling you yesterday, like how much I love drugs. Remember, because I'm a recovered addict, been clean for many years, and till today, I can still say that I love drugs. But the reason why I don't, You know, you can still have a perfect life, but if you have an addiction personality, you would rather lose everything just to fix your habits. And when he says stay clean, the reason why I don't go back there, and I've been clean for a long time. I stopped drinking, smoking. We go to spaces where there's alcohol, where there's, you know, people smoking. It does not even tempt me. I've been clean for almost 15 years now. And it's because I've climbed that mountain, and I know that when you are in a clean mindset, that clean mindset, and what, like, trying to just live a righteous life, just doing your best, how beautiful it is. So once, if I go through some kind of pain or problems or trouble, or if I relive my past and I'm in some kind of tormented pain where I need some kind of release by maybe drinking or doing whatever, I don't even think twice about it, because I know that was all an illusion, and I stay clean. And I love what you said, Jay. You said got to stay clean. You have to stay clean. You have to, through it all, you have to stay clean, because if you believe in this great power called God, you will see that all of this is such an illusion. The picture is so much bigger, you know. Staying clean is not just with substances. It's just
for everyone it can mean a different thing, really. Each of us has something we're fighting, and all of us. Yeah. The way you know, the fact that you can, like, the way that drugs did something for you to numb that pain, that's something that whatever you carried and what it did for you, and just to get you through the next day or whatever, you know, it's hectic, you know, and to give that up and to just walk away from it, you know, and then look back at it and say, you know what, that stuff really worked for me. And then when you're in a dark moment, it's easy just to say, I'm just going to go back there and I'm going to numb that pain. But the consequence of it, you know, it's like, it's way too dire, you know, because because at the end of the day, again, you're not really curing anything. You're just basically, you're postponing it, is what you're doing. You're postponing that pain, you know, and the way you dealt with your pain, at the end, drugs didn't help you, really. It just postponed it, and it kept building up and kept building up. And in the end, it was going to mean death. That would be the ultimate price, you know. But, you know, there was intervention, and you made it through. And looking back at it now, you still feel like, okay, that's when I'm in a dark space, I can enter that, you know. And for others, it's different things. It could be, you know, withdrawing from whatever, your family. It could be maybe drinking. It could be maybe gambling. It could be many different things they fight. Maybe it's even, you know, adultery. It could be even, you know, a lot of things that people actually use to postpone their pain. And this is where the problem is. It gets postponed, and you don't cure it. And that's why you just got to stay clean from those things, because they're just an illusion in the end. They're not going to help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Very good. Very good, Alexandra. Okay. Got to do my part. Like, I'm just going to leave it there, because I don't think people realize this. They, you know, you look at a marriage, you look at like just success, and you think it was just, you had to put it on your lap. I mean, like, there's so much work that you need to do to get to that space. You have to put in the work. 100%. I always say, you put in the work, God will do the rest. Do you want to break it down? Got to do your part.
Yeah, like you said, everything equals work. Everything equals work. You know, at the end of the day, like, you know, again, modern society has translated, you know, work into, you know, into currency. Well, not just modern, but it's been going on for a while. There was a time when that didn't really exist, I think, and all of it meant that your hard work equaled to somebody else's hard work, because hard work now is also can equal different things. I mean, how do you compare a guy laying bricks and doing stuff like that in the sun and digging trenches and whatever versus a guy sitting in the office with his laptop, an accountant typing out numbers? But that guy typing numbers is working hard and he's earning way more than what that laborer literally is doing by building that house with his laying his bricks. So where is the, like, how do you measure that? You know, you can't measure it anymore. I know it's like a funny comparison, but that's pretty much the same there. You've got to do your work. Just because you think you're reading a Bible and you're like being all righteous, you think that's doing the work. No, the work is maybe going out, cooking some food, go handing it out to people that need it. That's work, you know. So just because you think you like doing something that could be considered high profile doesn't necessarily mean it's got the same result as something quite simple but yet meaningful that will be, you know, work towards your spirituality. And in this instance, it's obviously got to do my part in this house, in this family, in this lifetime. You've got to do what you got to do. You know, you can't be a coward about your responsibilities.
Yeah. Yes. Can't be a coward about it. Okay. Step in harm's way to protect my domain. God made me this way.
Yeah.
Oh, God made me this way. I wish if everybody knew that God made them that way.
Yeah, no, it is. That's deep. You know, sometimes these things come and I write them and I look back at them and I think, did I write that? Because it's like quite profound in some ways, you know. And it's true. It's the way we are, like a real man. Oh, I know it sounds very like in today's age and everything, it's controversial, a real man, because it's been defined 100 million times and whatever. But like a person, a head of the family, let's say that, right, needs to be able to step in harm's way. You need to know when you gotta step in front, turn your back to that enemy and hold your little dominion together and let those arrows bounce off your back, because God has your back. So you gotta step in harm's way, because there will always be forces out there that want you to fail. There's always someone out there that wants you to fail. A lot of people and a lot of energies and a lot of things. And it's your responsibility as the head of the family to step in harm's way, because they are the ones, you know, that you're responsible for. And that's what I mean in that.
And then you said this one, God made me this way.
Yeah, that's like, you know, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing it, you know, I'm going to get hurt, but I'm going in front of that danger because I can't help it. That's how God made me, you know. God made us this way. It's just the way it is. It's just got to embrace it and roll with it. You know, there's no use fighting it. You just go with it.
Did you ever try and be something that you're not, or have you always been comfortable in who you are?
It's a very interesting question that a lot of people should answer on a daily, you know. But I was talking about it again the other day, and I feel like yourself, myself, and a couple of other individuals that I know, some of the, I can't even powers, but one of the attributes that we carry is that we can allow other people to be themselves around us. You know, and that's why people enjoy your company a lot, for example, because they get to be themselves. You allow them to drop that guard without having to drink a glass of wine or a couple of beers, and about to loosen up and to be themselves. And that's what people lack a lot of the time, is because people don't know how to be themselves, because they're constantly pretending or trying to be something they're not, because they want to impress the person in front of them, because they don't understand that person in front of them is fighting the same battle as them, where they're also trying to be, you know, and they get stuck in this perpetual loop, trying to be something they're not, and perhaps maybe some wine or some whatever can loosen them up and make them normal for that period of time, but then they go back to normal again. So to answer your question, to be something that I'm not, I probably have, but I can't think of it like in a moment where I did something and I failed at it and I learned. But you know, I think we all have it. We're all testing out things where you're trying to be something you're not, and then you realize, hopefully you have the wisdom to realize that's not you, and then you move on with it. You know, but I think definitely I probably have. We all have. I think it's like every human will try something that they're not. You know, it's just that as long as you can get out of it and realize that it's not you, and be you and find the real you, you know.
I think with me, like a lot of people always found me fascinating. You know that. You just spoke about it. And I was like, it amazes me how people always, they're like, oh, without sounding too whatever, like I've always been considered like different. Ooh, happy, she's like this and like that. And I always, for as long as I can remember, I've always been myself. I've never tried to be something that I'm not, okay? And that's what it is, people. Like, I think you should, once you know your identity and who you are, and you've made peace with your identity, not everybody's going to understand you. You're not going to be for everybody, right? But if you're going to be your truthful self, you've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose. And do you know that you are bigger than what you think you actually are? I mean, we are made in God's image, And again, social media, we see a lot of people, look, to get like points from people. I mean, there are people that I would admire some tributes that they have that I would learn from that, but not to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the key is to, once you know what your true identity is, and I lack in a lot of areas, but I was able to sit around a table with like successful people, like people that you wouldn't think. If I had to like give you my background, you wouldn't think that is my background. But because of me being myself, I've kind of gone far in favor with human beings. And me being myself is just loving people. So no competition, not being in competition with anybody, right? But just to love people. So why I like this whole, yes, you wanted to say, baby?
No, I was just thinking, I think sometimes, you know what, there's nothing wrong with just not having anything to say to anyone, to be quiet. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong to go home when everyone is going somewhere. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you need to be like this introvert and be locked up in your basement kind of thing, but you don't need to try and follow the crowd to be somebody. And I think that those alone times when you go home and then you sit on your own, you might discover that like some things about yourself which you are way cooler than when you're around other people. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
It's nothing wrong to go home. If they're having that party at the work, you don't have to participate. Not there's anything wrong with doing it either. There's balance to everything. But it's just you don't have to be a part of everything.
Or finish or speak when you know it's not. Like what I love about my husband, if we are in a group of people, I fight to be an introvert. Like my husband knows it. I told myself that I'm an introvert, which I am. I enjoy most of my time. I enjoy being alone, because when I'm out there, then I just give out whatever God has gifted me to give out there anyway. My husband can be around a group of people and he will not force conversation. He will not. If he's got nothing to say, he has nothing to say. Some people see it as him being uptight. It's just his nature, And that's what I love about him, because imagine if you had to force a conversation, which I think a lot of people do. You don't have to. If that's not your strength to just, some people like to observe and hear. It's so beautiful to be your true self. It really is. But anyway, so I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Step in harm's way to protect my domain. Okay. Fight. Okay, the last one. Fight until you drag me away. I cannot betray, or I will land up astray. I cannot betray.
Exactly, I'm gonna fight for this until you drag me away, meaning like you're gonna have to pull me away before I give in. It's gonna be my last resort to walk away and to, it's not even an option. It's not an option. The only way you're gonna get me off this is if you drag me away. And I cannot betray, Because if I betray, meaning if I turn away, if I stop doing what I'm doing, I might as well end up astray.
Yeah.
And
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice, because if I don't have that, I'm astray. I'm just like a astray person, cat, where I have no belonging, I have no reason to live. I'm just dwelling around and whatever, that's what I mean. I'll become astray because I cannot betray in my domain, you know.
Yeah. Also for me, like, I mean, God is God, you cannot betray God, but that's me. I'm like, I'm going to try, as difficult as it is, guys, it's easier said than done, but I promise you, once you just understand it, and scripture, read that scripture, for me it helps a lot. Once you understand it, you'll see that you have no choice but to not betray. For me, I cannot betray God because he's just like done so much for me. We were talking about it yesterday. I mean, just look at this amazing husband that I have. I was like, honestly, I know my worth, but I mean, come on, the children that I have, like just where I'm at now, and I cannot betray that. Like he said, we'll go astray, right? Anyway, that's it. It's a wrap. I told you. Do you understand? I mean, it's amazing. I love it. I love it. And we're going to continue to do this. Anyway, I want to say happy birthday to you, Shauna. Happy birthday, baby girl. Thanks for the invite today. It was absolutely beautiful. I love you. And thanks, baby. It was nice. Peace and light. Bye, everybody.